You're back at the Faculty Factory podcast, and I'm Kim Skorupski at the University of Texas Medical Branch in sunny Galveston, Texas. It's a great island. Come down and visit sometime. And I'm looking at a friend and frequent flyer to the podcast, Dr. Jessica Seaman. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Kim. It's so good to be back.
Who is Dr. Jessica Seaman? She is an assistant professor for medical humanities and the assistant dean for faculty development at Creighton University's School of Medicine in Phoenix, Arizona. So, Dr. Seaman, last time you were here was episode number 299, and you shared best supporting practices and strategies for stressed out learners and faculty. So those of you listening, if the word stressed out just triggered something, go back to episode 299. Go to facultyfactory.org. Go to the website. You can control F. You can search for Dr. Seaman. Just type in Jessica or Seaman and you'll find her episode. They're sorted by topic on the website. And the YouTube channel has all of our 350 plus episodes sorted into buckets. And I just said a word that Jessica's going to pick up on YouTube. Dr. Seaman, share with us your YouTube story.
You bet. Well, I love talking about students and about learners. So I was so glad to do that original podcast with you. But today we're going to be talking a little more about access to recordings and kind of a repository that we use for our faculty this time. And that is our YouTube channel. Now, there are a lot of different places that we can put material. We record almost all of our sessions, probably 99% of our professional development at Creighton University, whether it's a small group or whether it's a grand rounds or whether it's for our residents and fellows or whether it's for our faculty. We try to record every single session so that people can get back to it as we are teaching and working with faculty that are clinician educators. Their time may not be free at 12 o'clock when we're recording a session. They may be in surgery, they may be in clinic, and they don't have that regular lunchtime. Their time is just a little different. So they need to be able to get back to material. But what happens with our faculty all over Creighton University, which is we have faculty all over the country, mainly in Omaha and mainly in Phoenix. Those are our two big places for faculty. But we have 2,000 faculty that aren't all in the same place at the same time. And they're working in hospitals that might have a firewall. They can't log in. They don't want to do a sign in for their login and then do a password because, as you know, every login is a little bit different. And they might be in a clinic, they might be in a behavioral hospital. As they're working throughout the day, they need quick and easy access. And we found that the YouTube channel gives us that. They do not have to have a password. They don't have to have a username. All they have to have is the link from me. And when I do the follow-up emails after session, I can just put that link in there. They can click on it. They can get back to it anytime.
I remember you talked about this in your last episode, and I was so thrilled with it. And you were the inspiration for us of the Faculty Factory to start a new resource tab page in the Faculty Factory. And your link to your YouTube is right there at the very top. And if folks listening saying, what are you talking about, Kim? Hold on. If you go to facultyfactory.org, you'll see at the top resources. And if you click on resources, the title is Faculty Development Resource Spotlight, and CU, or Creighton University, Health Sciences YouTube is the first resource there. And just to give everybody a sense, being the CEO of your own, these are topics on the YouTube channel, being the CEO of your own career, caring well without losing yourself, rethinking compassion fatigue, permission to grieve, multiple intelligence and strengths, why clinicians should care about compassion, the art of wellness writing, on and on and on. It is just a wealth of resources. So just look for CU Health Sciences on the YouTube or go to Faculty Factory. So Jessica, I just wanted you to know again, amplify, highlight you. Thank you for inspiring us to further build our community by sharing this publicly available treasure trove.
Yes, I appreciate you giving us a little plug, and I appreciate you telling me that it was some type of inspiration. We do have lots of different buckets, if you will, lots of different headlines on the YouTube channel, but it is publicly accessible, which is so great because we really can get it back to our visiting professors that came in to do a session, and they can easily get right back onto their session that they recorded. We can share it out widely, which we try to do, and all those different buckets, you can just find something that you might be looking for, like research or specifically faculty development that's not clinic related, or you might be looking for something clinical training, something more specific to a clinician, and we have those as well.
Jessica, how does this work? Because, since I moved here to UTMB, we've been having these debates and discussions around, do we put something on the University of Texas Medical Branch website of recordings? Is it behind a firewall? Is it in the firewall? Do we put it on a YouTube? Do we put it on all these other platforms? And then somebody inevitably says, nobody even goes to those things. Nobody even looks at those things. We really want to invest in this process and expenditure of money and time. So, could you share with us operationally, how do you record your sessions?
Hey,
And
you
then
bet.
how does it get to YouTube? And what do you think is the uptake and the value that your faculty and others are gleaning from it?
Absolutely. So a few years ago, it was probably 2022, when I really took on this position of assistant dean for faculty development for all of our campuses at Creighton University. And there were two videos that were on the YouTube channel at the time. And I said, all right, we already have something set up, but this is not helpful for faculty. We've got to do something a little more. We're already using Zoom. So we do use Zoom as our base for sending out links so people can join live if they would like, or it's so easy to record. It's so easy to get back to all of my Zoom recordings. I can disable the delete so I can always get back to those recordings if I need. So Zoom also keeps track of any participants that have joined live, and it tells you how many minutes they have joined. So we get a really good idea of how many people have jumped on live, how many people are staying for 1 minute or 2 minutes, how many people are staying for the full 60 minutes, however long the video is. So Zoom has been super helpful that way. And we can download the recording very easily from Zoom. And so, as a few years ago, as I was really diving in to try to figure out what kind of repository we were going to have, um, we realized we can't just send a downloaded video out to everybody. It wasn't working size wise. We needed a platform, and we already had something going with Creighton University. So I had a meeting with our marketing specialist here in Phoenix and said, what do you think? Like, what can we do? And she said, well, since you already have the platform of YouTube, let's figure out how to just build it up in the YouTube channel. And we changed the name a little bit. It's not just for Phoenix anymore. So we took the Phoenix part off, and it's now called Creighton University Health Sciences. it's not just for School of Medicine either. You're going to find a lot of things on here that are for all health professions. So we really want to be inclusive that way. So that really helped to change the name and just be able to get it out a little wider. Here's what I started doing. I would download a video from Zoom, and then I would upload a video to YouTube. So I got the correct admin access, and I'm one of the admins or one of the teachers on YouTube now, on our channel. And I would upload a video, and then I would go watch YouTube videos to find out how to edit my YouTube video that I just uploaded. So I'm watching their videos that they put out there. There's so many helpful videos that are just like little snippets, like 5-10 minutes of this is how you edit YouTube videos. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can figure this out. So I started making a document for myself of how to go about the editing so I could remember and not have to watch the instruction videos all the time. So I started editing in the YouTube channel. It was free, so that was super helpful. We didn't need to purchase any editing software. And the great thing is that YouTube has really changed and advanced over the last few years, where things have gotten a little bit easier and faster. So you don't have to wait hours anymore for your video to be available. So YouTube was the platform that we started getting out to people. Now, over the last few years, we have videos now that have reached 6,000 views. So we know it's going beyond our faculty, and we're very excited about that. We have about 280, 275 subscribers now, instead of just one subscriber, which was me at the very beginning. We have almost 150 videos in about 7 or 8 different buckets. You can add up to 15 different headings, I believe. It's either 12 or 15 different headings, and we just haven't gotten that far where we've needed more buckets. So I feel like we are definitely getting beyond our own faculty, and that's really what we want. We want to share what we have, and we want other people to feel like they have a resource to be able to get back to some things.
I can't remember what it was. I wish I could have a like smart, pithy example, but I remember, gosh, I wonder how you would do such and such. And I'm like, oh, YouTube. And you put it in there, and sure enough, there's somebody showing you how to, pit an avocado. What
Absolutely. It was so helpful to actually dive into some of the YouTube instruction videos that people had put out there in order to help me kind of hone this craft of putting our sessions on the YouTube channel, because I was teaching myself how to do this from the get-go. So 3 years ago when we started doing this, nobody really knew how to do it. And we're not going live on YouTube where I'm creating a YouTube channel of just our content and you're going to hear me every time. We weren't doing that. We wanted our speakers, our presenters, to know from the get-go, this is going to go wide. This is going to go out to a lot of people. We want this to be able to get out to our faculty and beyond. And if anyone says, hey, I'd rather not have this material or this content on YouTube, sometimes it gets a little personal, and that's okay. And we just say to them up front, this might only go back to the attendees and not beyond anybody else that was here in the live session. And that's okay as well. But really, 99.9% of our presenters are like, yeah, I think I would like a link of the material out there. The other thing that's really nice is that then you're not also dropping this material someplace else behind a firewall in like on an intranet within your organization. you're putting it on the internet, and then all you have to do is put that link. You just share that link in their email, or you share that link on a text, or however you communicate with your clinician educators. You just share that link with them and they can get back to it anytime. So they don't need to go find it someplace else. You can put it someplace else if you would like, but it's just super simple to just put the link someplace for the whole YouTube channel and not a link for every single video that you're trying to share out. And then they can just find them.
In perpetuity. I love that longevity, that it's there. And so much of what we talk about has legs. It will last. And I know that your presenters, your experts, should be putting this on their CV as having international impact, and it's easy to measure because you can just put a link to your episodes, and you can, the reviewers for whatever you'd be going up for promotion or an award or some kind of leadership role can see themselves the diagnostics on how many people viewed your episodes. And I'm imagining people who might be thinking about doing something like this themselves. This is a vehicle that would be considered impact for promotion yourself. So not only as the speaker, but as an organizer, this is another, um, if you maybe, now I was going to say non-traditional, but these days I think it's becoming more understood that these social platforms are the way that we reach each other efficiently and effectively. So patients and colleagues and society. So this would be good if someone is thinking themselves, well, I'd like to get promoted, but I don't just want to be a guest on Dr. Seaman's. I want to do my own. I have this great idea. There you go. That project in and of itself would be worthy of promotion, not by itself, but itself is a way to document impact and to demonstrate it.
But yes, and you bring up such a good point because so many institutions now are moving towards including non-traditional ways of promoting. And some institutions might say, well, it's got to be an article, it's got to be peer reviewed, it's got to be some research. And I understand the need for that. But if somebody doesn't have a lot of that on their CV, they can use some other non-traditional. I feel like these are peer reviewed because we're getting thumbs up, or you can see that if there's a thumbs down on these videos, you can see how many people are viewing it. You can see how many people are finding a certain video helpful. And so that can just add to build their CV in different ways. So absolutely having people create their own YouTube channel that has something that is really in their specialty or has something that really speaks to their institution would be super helpful for people in the rank and tenure promoting realm. They want to see other material as well.
Yeah. And even if you're not in seeking promotion, educators who just have this great content, this great curriculum, this great series, or a workshop or a seminar, or every time someone who teaches a class, they get all this raving feedback and, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. Could you come and do it for my group, my group, my group, my group? Oh my gosh, record yourself doing it. And now again, back to perpetuity, everybody can have access to your content, and you being more efficient maybe with your time. And if people want to invite you, which is always lovely, you could say, I'd be happy to come do that. And did you know I've recorded myself giving these 10 talks, and you're welcome to them. So everybody wins with that. Your time is perhaps saved. You're reaching broader audiences, and then the dominoes fall, and then they can refer it. It's really efficient vehicle.
I love that because we actually look for presenters to do things for Creighton University that already have some content out there. Maybe not solely on social media platforms, but I look for things that maybe somebody said, hey, so and so is really a great speaker and we should have them come to Creighton University or do something live for us for Creighton faculty. And then I go out searching for their content and for their material. I want to hear them speak. I want to see them speak. I want to see how they interact with their audience. So it's always nice to have some recordings out there. That's really helped us in our decision making for which presenters we're going to bring in. Because we can see them doing something on a recording, even if it's just a small snippet of material. I'm out there looking for it before I make any kind of contract with a presenter.
Jessica, Dr. Seaman, you just raised another interesting point that's making me think about personal branding. That if a faculty member is, or soon to be faculty member, is on the job market and or aspiring for leadership roles in their professional societies or up the ranks in academic health or wherever, gosh, wouldn't it be smart to put a package together? So part of the portfolio is not only your letter expressing interest in the blah blah blah, your CV, and maybe if you're an educator, a part of your educator portfolio, but also, and here are a couple links to some YouTubes I've created. Wouldn't that go a long ways towards someone like you? If Dr. Seaman is on the search committee for blah blah blah, she'd say, "Oh, I found Dr. Skorupski's XYZ," and it's maybe a quick way, easy way of gauging someone's interaction, their communication style, their science, their knowledge, their enthusiasm. And now you really get a jump start on getting to know someone. So I'm thinking for branding purposes, for interviewing, wouldn't it be cool to just assemble something? And maybe some postdocs or fellows or residents are thinking, well, what in the world would I do? Gosh, it could be a real brief recording of yourself on Zoom or having a colleague interviewing you and about what you're jazzed up about, or what your plans are, or what you're really great at. That'd be part of a cool package. I mean, I'm sure people are listening to this going, duh, I already do that. But
absolutely. And just a few months ago, the Association for Hospital Medical Education, AMI, their association, I'm one of the co-chairs for their professional development committee, and I got a speaker to come do something for us, and it was all about personal branding. And she just did a fantastic job. And I know some clinician out there was thinking, what do I need to brand myself for? Maybe this isn't that applicable to me, but oh my goodness, we had so many good comments after that presentation. She just did a phenomenal job talking about how important it is to brand ourselves in a positive way, for whatever specialty we're going into, for whatever job market we're going into, whatever that might look like. So that personal branding is for sure really important. The other thing we do on our YouTube channel, and we've just started this over the last couple months, is very specific specialty heading. So the surgery grand rounds director came to me and they're in Omaha. They're not even here in Phoenix, but our Creighton University surgery program director, that's what I'm trying to say, program director came to me and said, hey, we are really liking this YouTube channel, but we want to be able to put some of our content on there. And I said, great, let's figure this out. So what they do is every time they have a grand rounds, they record it, and it's on Zoom or it's on Panopto or wherever it's at. They send it to me with a link. I download it, and then I can upload it to the surgery heading on our YouTube channel. And now all of the surgeons can get back there and they just share the YouTube channel, or they share the heading link. You can actually get a link for each of the headings, and they share that with their surgery faculty so that they can get back to it, because they can't always be there at the very time, especially surgeons. Many of the specialties have they're taken during the day where you might be doing sessions. They can't always make it to their grand rounds and things like that. So they have to watch it a little bit later in the day or first thing in the morning. And now they can do that because we have a specialty heading for them. So I really want to get to some of our other specialties and say, hey, would you like to start adding your material?
Genius. Dr. Jessica Seaman. That is another brilliant point, that building this infrastructure, this tool, is not then necessarily owned by this one person, this one faculty member, this one center, office, division, entity. It's a come one, come all. Talk about truly inclusive. Once you see that it's working, the platform is built, then you start inviting. So I love this twist, is that, hey, go to the YouTube, go to Creighton University Health Sciences and look at all we put. Yes, it's you. What can you add to the YouTube channel? And getting people to realize this is not just that office does great things. That dean is great building this content. Yes, and did you know it's a democracy here? She is also
Yes,
inviting other people. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, you mean I could put my stuff on hers? Absolutely. So this is a magnifier to me, that it
absolutely.
just can grow and geometrically increase driving traffic, interest, and participants, not only by watching, but you can be here too, like we do on the Faculty Factory podcast. You like what you're hearing? You have something cool you wish Kim would talk about or stop talking about, and I want her to do something else. All you do is say, yeah, come, you're welcome. You're welcome to come on.
Come on and talk
I
about it. I
love it.
love that. I love that about you as well, because you are super inclusive with so many different topics. If you already have a platform, it doesn't make sense for us to keep it really tight. We don't need to hold it tight to our chest. We need to share it out, and we need to say, hey, what specialties out there do you want to have a heading for? And let's start getting some more content on there.
Yeah.
We are certainly not at the point where YouTube is reaching out and saying, hey, you've got so much content on here and so many views. We want to start paying you for putting more videos. That is not what this is about. That is
No.
not happening for sure. Um, you know, would that be fun? I don't know if that would be fun to really have to get into all the
No.
weeds of
Oh,
trying to do things in a certain way. I think what's fun is that we keep getting more subscribers that can use the material.
yeah.
And that's what this is about, is we want to help healthcare professionals, whether they are physicians or PT or OT or nurses or PAs, NPs, doesn't matter, pharmacists, all the different health sciences. We want those healthcare professionals to not just be good at their craft, but also be good at teaching their craft. So we want them to be able to get to the resources, get to the material in whatever way is helpful for them. If they can even turn on a YouTube video and just listen to it, they don't even have to watch. And so they have now access to all of this different material that can help them better their craft and better their teaching.
Just fantastic. And I imagine anyone listening to this podcast right now who's raised their hand, how about me? Yeah, I'll bet you. How about you? Why don't you just email Dr. Jessica Seaman, and we'll put it on the facultyfactory.org website. A lot of us do things in person. So live events, particularly challenging, or these hybrid, versions of some on Zoom and Team, but live. What are your thoughts on recording? I don't know if you have, or how would you record a live event?
We record almost all of our live events, in-person events, because most of our events are some hybrid form of We might be having a lunch and learn, and there might be 10 people in attendance, but then we're also Zooming it, we're recording it. So anytime we add a Zoom, we're recording. All of the MedEd Grand Rounds, which are specifically for our residents and fellows each month, those are also live at one hospital, streamed to another hospital, and recorded. It's all going on at the same time. So yes, we do those as well. Now, sometimes you might not have a speaker view where you have their face right there next to their slides. Sometimes that's not happening because it's a little more difficult in person. You can change the screen however you would like to view it. You don't need to worry about the speaker if you can hear them fine, or maybe you want to see the speaker a little more, you can squish your slides over a little bit. So as they're watching, they can just kind of choose how they want to see things, especially on Zoom. Now, YouTube, once we get to the recording, it's recorded the way it's recorded. On Zoom, it's uploaded the way it's uploaded. So our Zoom, we have some choices, but once we get to YouTube, you don't have as many choices except for the editing piece, and people can listen to it or they can watch it. But we definitely record most of our in-person and online sessions.
All right, super dumb question, and don't laugh. The live events, is someone there with a camcorder and a VHS 8-track cassette tape, something? I don't even know. None of this makes sense. Or their phone, like, or do you actually call the real people who like do the real recording? And how do you literally record it?
Yeah, very good question. Very good question. But I am laughing inside because I think we would resort to that if we needed to. We seem to always have some kind of tech issue, no matter what building we're in. So sometimes we're in a room where there's already a camera that's up high. We already have the projector putting their slides up on a screen. We already have sound with a microphone, but it doesn't always work. It might work better at one hospital than another hospital. It might work better at one clinic than another clinic. It might work better on our campus site, our actual Creighton University Health Science building. Or they might be in person in Omaha, but I'm doing the recording here in Phoenix. We seem to always have some tech issues no matter where we're at, but we really don't start the session until we've got everything in place and it's just something that's already in the room. Some are a little more antiquated than others. Some have really, really old tech services within the building just because it's an old building. And so we're just doing the best we can. But no, I haven't resorted to a phone or a camcorder yet.
Oh, darn it. We'll plan these events around UTMB campus, and we try to go where faculty are. We try to be, mobile. So we'll be in these lovely little rooms, or they'll just rooms and nooks and crannies and wherever. And there is no tech. And I'm like, people go, "Oh, I can't come. Can you record it?" I'm like, I got a phone. I mean, how are we going to record this?
One thing we have had to do before is open up somebody's laptop, and that's where they log into Zoom. You still just set up a Zoom on, and then you open up your laptop in that small room. Maybe it doesn't have all the tech stuff you need in there, but you have a laptop, and then you are recording just like you would a meeting. You're recording their session with their slides or their presentation on the laptop and the camera facing them, the laptop camera facing them, and you could record it that way as well, and that might work really good.
Oh gosh.
We have had to do that before. If you're in a small conference room and it just doesn't have all the camera pieces that you need, we just open up the laptop and have it right in front of the speaker. And then it's kind of like they're speaking to everybody, but they have their slides in front of them on the laptop, and that's what's recording them.
Yeah, gosh,
so that would work better than a phone, I think.
It certainly would work better. And I'm thinking now for me, I'm like a mover and a shaker. So I'd have to be like holding that laptop in front of me as I'm walking around the room and falling over it. And that might be a really great YouTube to put my being on the ground and banging into stuff. That's a great idea. I love it. I love the creativity.
Because we have moved the laptop, we have moved it from person to person on the table. Like we'll just slide it if somebody else is talking. Maybe it's a meeting that we're recording, and we want to be able to get back to this. We just slide the laptop to the person that's speaking. But if it's just one person, nice and easy, they would just have their stuff right in front of them, and then they could still speak to the room.
Dr. Jessica Seaman, I'll leave the parting words to you. Thank you again for being on the podcast.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Kim. And my final words are, please reach out if you want to be able to do this for your organization, for your institute, for your clinic, at whatever level, small or big. Please reach out and we can walk through how to get you started.
Thanks for tuning in to the Faculty Factory podcast. We are a faculty development community sharing tools to build academic leaders in healthcare. Maybe you want to be interviewed on the podcast? Please visit facultyfactory.org/contact and send me a message there. The Faculty Factory podcast and website is sponsored by the Office of Faculty Affairs at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, Texas.